Thanks to the One Spatial team for inviting me along to talk here. Today I'm going to be presenting on a little bit about our modernisation story at Geoscape Australia. So over the last period, we've been modernising both our organisation and our products to respond to the changing needs of our partners, our customers, and the wider spatial industry. So Geoscape Australia, we started as a collaboration between state, territory and Commonwealth government to create what was back then the public sector mapping agencies. Now, some of you may be aware of us as PSMA Australia, and more recently, we've been going to market under the name Geoscape Australia. And so we are an enabler of foundation data products at a national level. And some of you may be aware of products such as GNAF, which is the Geocoded National Address File for Australia, or Administrative Boundaries, which are both available openly through data.gov.au. In addition to those data sets, we also provide a wide range of other foundational data sets to our customers and partners. So we continue to work in collaboration with government to enable industry, government and research through the provision of data and services powered by the foundation data products we build and maintain. In the last 5-ish years, we've been working with private industry partners to expand the range of products that we're able to bring out to help our customers and partners deliver solutions. And an example of that would be our buildings product. Now, we make these products available through a wide variety of channels into a huge range of applications across almost all industries that have a location context to them in Australia. And we continue to seek to provide the context and confidence to enable industry to make use of their investment. Okay, so I won't dwell on this image. I've taken it from a United Nations Committee, UNGGIM report in terms of spatial trends, but I suppose what I did want to touch on is it's fairly predictable, and models and graphics such as this help illustrate that in terms of how we can be confident that the future will see our ability to generate data from more dynamic sources in real time expand. And this is great. This allows for innovation. This allows for us to develop our industry, to do more with our investment. But without context and confidence, a lot of the ways we're able to generate dynamic data, we can be limited from the amount of insight we're able to obtain from it. So in terms of a organization who delivers insights from remotely sensed imagery, they're delivering their insights to their customers using a common reference frame to be able to communicate those insights. So quite often that will be at something like an address. Addresses are great because the organization capturing the information and the organization consuming the information will both likely have address databases. They can both operate off the same foundational address database, and they can talk in terms of common identifiers to know that they're both talking about the same feature. Now, obviously, an address is great for referencing a location. However, it doesn't define an area. So if we're looking to segment imagery to extract insight, we need a boundary that allows us to then extract that insight. So by taking something like a cadastral boundary that links to our address, we're then able to segment the imagery. We can run R smarts to get our insights from the imagery, and we can then communicate that to our customer using a common reference frame. However, reference data, the underlying data, foundation data that provides context, can limit the potential of innovation if we can't reference a commonly understood location at the right granularity to maximize the value of the insight we have. For an organization such as ourselves that produces foundational layers, we're continually striving to be an enabler and not a limiter of our partners' potential. Further, we seek to expand where we see opportunity across industry to further develop what we can provide within our data set to enable more usage of foundation data and to reduce duplication in the industry. So where we see opportunities where organizations are duplicating the sourcing, are duplicating the standardization and usage of the same data points, they're the areas where we feel we have the expertise and the technologies to assist and enable. So moving on, I did just want to touch on some of our modernization journey so far. As an organization, we have historically produced quarterly data products, and those quarterly data products were extremely intensive to produce. Now, our organization spent a lot of its manual effort in that actual processing of the data. And so by doing the same processes quarter after quarter to produce the same data points to make a new release, we were sustaining the data layers and continuing to supply them. But we weren't necessarily improving them that fast. We weren't necessarily bringing new products to market. And the expenditure we had as a business was wrapped up in doing our business as usual. So a few years ago, to reduce this effort of producing the same products, we've made a very significant investment in cloud-based infrastructure. We term this our continuous data platform to enable us to start to automate the production of our products at Geoscape. So our continuous data platform enables us to automate the ingestion, the standardization, integrating the data into consistent products, linking it to other foundational layers such as Cadastre to address, and then quality assuring it, being able to go beyond what we're able to achieve previously, because now we are doing that in an automated way. What this does is this enables us to achieve better outcomes whilst reducing our manual effort in our business as usual activities from months of effort down to hours of effort to produce the same data products. And as we've been doing that, we've been implementing our processes into our new infrastructure. We've been revisiting what do these layers need to be to enable our customers. I'll touch on that a little bit in a second. But as we have been going through this journey over the last 3 years, we probably started with a spatially dominant workforce. We continue to have a large number of spatial experts in our workforce, but we've had to get the balance between technology, spatial, and engineering to ensure we're able to enable the right outcomes in our product in an automated way, while still ensuring the integrity and the quality of our data products. And lastly, we have been developing over recent years our API services, so specifically our address API services. And now these services allow us to start leveraging some of the benefits that our infrastructure provides. So, as I mentioned earlier, we used to process data that took months to take from one end to the other. Right now, we're able to produce our outputs at the same frequency that we receive our data from our suppliers. And then if we push technologies on the end of that that makes that data available and services available based off that data, we're then enabling customer applications that connect into that same frequency that we're exposed to. Now, a couple of examples of this. So we work closely with New South Wales government, and here's an example application of the border pass application which when you're filling in an address, you'll be provided with suggestions. Those suggestions originate from our addressing services, and that enables New South Wales government to, when somebody applies for a border pass, to understand what the address they entered means in the context of a known foundational layer. And as I mentioned, as we're going through with our new infrastructure, implementing products, processing products so that they're now processed automated at the frequency in which we receive the supplied data, we've put a large focus on how we redevelop those layers. So connecting in with our user base on how the layers are currently used, what people want to achieve from our data, and how we can maximize the value we can provide on these features. So for example, something like cadastre, so land parcel boundaries. Previously, we have in our legacy product, it was very difficult for somebody to take our land parcel product and select out of it a layer of land parcels that had no overlaps or gaps in it. We saw a lot of usage of customers and partners seeking to use the data this way for things like web visualizations. And to achieve that, you either needed really complex queries or mixture of queries and manual effort. And so as we've been implementing our products through our platform, we've been re-engineering what our products look like to both maximize the value and also simplify the usage. Previously to this activity, our products were heavily normalized. And so for a single product, you might receive many, many tables. And for some of our customers and partners who are extremely skilled, that might be great in terms of giving flexibility and being able to work with the data. However, it starts creating barriers to other users to pick up the data and start to work with it quickly. We've been extending our data to provide new data points against it, such as planning data against a land parcel. So really looking at those areas where we can start to grow the remit of what these layers can provide to our customers. And simple things such as a provider of national spatial data sets, previously you could not get a single file for a product from us for the whole of Australia. So through looking at what formats our customers require, how they want to receive that data, and also a whole heap of packaging processes in things like FME, we now have the opportunity to provide flexibility in how our customers take our data. And that includes if you want the whole of cadastre in a single table, in a single file, that's something that our customers can take away. Now, we are an organisation who has a history steeped in partnerships. Most of our major milestones and landmarks have been achieved by working with industry leaders, working with our government partners. And we continue to invest in these partnerships to generate the outcomes we're seeking. And so we still put a lot of emphasis as a business on our relationships back into our government suppliers. Through investment at this area of our business, we can maximize how we can best represent content we've received from government to our end users with the context of how the data is being created, what changes are coming, what programs are being run at state, at national levels to influence the direction of these different data features. Further, we're working heavily with private enterprises to further what we can deliver in our data sets. So we have a buildings product that covers the whole of Australia, and we rolled this out through partnership with satellite imagery providers to generate a whole of Australia product based off satellite data. And that was great for getting to the scale and coverage that we required to get a product in the market. However, as we see our customers develop their applications, as we see new requests for support for our partners to innovate, we're getting significantly increased demands in terms of the quality, the currency, the fidelity required by our customers to obtain their outcomes. And so working with partners such as Aerometrics, who capture high quality aerial imagery, and GeoX, who extract features from imagery using AI processes, we're able to develop our products further. So as you can see down the bottom, we've got an area of Melbourne in 3D from our data from satellite. And on the right is how the data starts being represented from our aerial captures. And next month, we release the whole of Sydney from our aerial captures. And we'll be rolling through the country over the next sort of 6 to 9 months, rolling out data at these levels of quality across those regions. Further, as a business, we've worked closely with a large partner network to deliver solutions into industry using our Geoscape products. Now more than ever, I think we're seeing incredibly innovative and exciting products being created by our partners, and this is extending the demands on us to further develop the foundation data layers to be able to enable our partners into different industries. And just to wrap up, I just wanted to touch on a couple of areas where we have a focus moving forwards. And so firstly, in terms of shortening the supply chain. So when we are looking at providing context and for data that is moving to more real time, how do we make data available from the point of capture to our customers almost immediately? And for us, there's a couple of main challenges there. Firstly, it's in terms of that lead time to get access to the data ourselves, because we don't always access it at source. For example, an address record may be created by a developer as a concept quite early in its life cycle. However, it might not come to us until a state government department registers it in their database. Further, our ability to provide that data out to our customers in a way that they can integrate it into their databases in a seamless way to enable them to focus on their activities is a further challenge. And certainly technology, standards, and looking at different mechanisms and methodologies for delivering data may enable us to enable our customers to link data to ours more seamlessly. Currently, the majority of our customers take data as bulk downloads every quarter. And the overwhelming feedback we get is that for the majority of them, they can't handle those processes more frequently. And so we need to converge on different mechanisms for ensuring that we can deliver the ability for our customers to link their data to our context more in a more live way. And lastly, as I've touched on a couple of times, we're always looking at how we extend the value of what we provide. Where we see duplication across the industry in terms of the data being created, there's huge opportunities for us to save organizations that effort and allow them to invest in their core business to maximize their innovation. And with that, I will wrap up my presentation, and thank you all for listening.